My name is Erica Caldwell. I'm 38, and I'm the kind of daughter people forget existed. Quiet enough to overlook, useful enough to exploit. While my family built their reputation on the Mountain Pine Lodge, the hotel I once saved with my own blood and savings, I was always the outsider, the one who worked while everyone else posed for the photo. My brother Corbin got the praise, the trust, the keys, while I got the messes to clean up. I've spent most of my life swallowing disappointment and telling myself loyalty mattered. But nothing prepares you for the moment you discover just how far your own family will go to erase you. And the day I opened that envelope, I realized the real betrayal hadn't even started yet. It was just past 6 a.m. The air inside the lobby of Mountain Pine Lodge still carried last night's chill, pine wood, burnt coffee, and the sterile bite of lemon polish. I had just finished flipping the front desk logbook when I saw it. A thick manila envelope.
No postie.
No return address. Just my name. Scrawled in pen like an afterthought. I didn't open it right away. Instinct told me not to. But instinct was too late. Inside. 2 property deeds. One for the Rusty Ridge house, our family's second home. The other? Our old warehouse, once used to store extra hotel furniture, now emptied after a winter renovation. Both marked sold. Both signed.
By me.
Except I never signed them. The notary's seal was forged. Sloppy. The kind of fake you'd miss if you weren't already suspicious. The date? 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks. My pulse kicked up. My chest tightened. Who did this? I reached for my phone. Missed calls. 4 of them. 2 from an unknown number. 1 from a Denver area code. 1 from my mother. Her message was just breathing. No words. Just breathing. I scanned the deeds again. Buyer, Rocky Mountain Holdings LLC. Purchase price, $250,000. Fast close. Full cash.
No contingencies.
I checked the county's property records database from the front desk computer.
Confirmed.
The ownership had transferred. Neither property belonged to the Caldwell family anymore. Not to me. Not even to Corbin.
Gone.
You can't fix what they've already buried, my own voice whispered inside my head. A floorboard creaked behind me.
Ispun.
Nothing. Just the emptiness of the early morning lobby, couch cushions still dented from late check-ins, the coffee station half cleaned, a single bulb flickering above the elevator. But something had shifted. I was no longer alone in this building.
Not really.
I grabbed the envelope and headed upstairs to my office, bolted the door. My hands shook as I snapped a photo of each page and sent them to the only lawyer I halfway trusted, Marisol Vega. She didn't answer. Not right away. The silence scraped louder than noise. Outside the lobby window, a dark SUV idled. Windows tinted black. Engine humming low. I blinked once. It was gone. Just a trick of the eye? Maybe. The envelope sat heavy in my lap, like a loaded gun I hadn't asked for. I opened the bottom drawer of my desk. Inside, the backup copy of our family trust paperwork. Rusty Ridge was under a protective clause. Any sale required a double signature for me and my father. Yet the document I held showed only mine. Forged. Sloppy, sure. But effective. My phone buzzed. Blocked number. I picked up. A male voice.
Calm. Cold.
Controlled. You got the papers. That means you're smart. Be smarter. Don't make noise.
Click. Deadline.
I dropped the phone. Someone wasn't just trying to erase my name. They were rewriting the whole story. I didn't just lose the warehouse. I just painted a target on someone's back. The sun hadn't even touched the ridge when I slid into the black sedan parked behind the lodge. Marisol Vega was already there, cross-legged in a charcoal suit, tablet open, eyes sharper than glass. I don't take calls at 4 a.m. unless someone's dead, she said, not looking up. You're lucky I like corpses. I dropped the forged deeds onto her lap. You've seen worse, I said. Marisol scanned, lips tightening. Forgery. Sloppy. Whoever signed this thinks notarization's a sticker from Staples. The warehouse. The house. Gone. She blinked. Gone. Transferred 3 weeks ago. Full cash buyout. I found out yesterday. Marisol looked up and for once didn't joke. Her voice lowered. Who else knows?
No one.
Yet. She tapped her screen, eyes moving fast. Someone paid to wipe this clean. No record trail from your family trust. This LLC, Rocky Mountain Holdings? Delaware registered shell. No ID attached. Just a P.O. box in Glenwood Springs. And Corbin? I asked. She paused. Your brother's name isn't on the sale. But that's exactly why I'm suspicious.
Cut scene.
I stepped out of the sedan and lit a cigarette with fingers that wouldn't stop shaking. Snow from last night still lined the curbs, melting into black water under the tires. Across the street, a man in a gray hoodie pretended to fix his shoelace for too long. He wasn't from here, and he didn't blink once. I flicked the cigarette into the gutter and walked back into the lodge. The lobby was empty. Still.
Too still.
I counted the heartbeats between the floorboard creaks. Too many. People say silence is peace. But silence is a liar. Peace has breathing. Silence has teeth. Marisol called an hour later. I'm sending encrypted copies of the deeds to a federal contact. But Erica, there's more. I just pulled a debt file. Your hotel was collateral on a $600,000 private loan 6 months ago. Guarantors? Corbin and Rufus Caldwell. I stopped breathing. That loan was never disclosed to me.
No.
Because you weren't meant to see it. Your father signed off on it. 2 names. No third. They used your trust documents to authorize it. But the trust requires 3 signatories. Unless someone fabricated your proxy.
Cut scene. Click.
My screen blinked. Battery full. Internet dropped. My files?
Gone.
All backup folders on the hotel server vanished. And then,
Ping.
a new email.
No sender.
No subject. 1 line. You want the truth? Try looking behind your reflection. I turned. The mirror behind the front desk had a fingerprint smear. But the glass had shifted, no longer flush. I moved toward it. Pulled gently. It opened. A compartment? Inside, tucked between old manuals and dust. An external hard drive. Black. Unlabeled. And a note. Trust no one who says just business. That's how families die. My breath caught. I plugged it in. Files loaded.
Fast.
Security footage. Time-stamped. Warehouse. 2 weeks ago. The camera shook. Wind?
No. Breath.
Then,
Corbin.
entering through the rear. Holding something wrapped in black cloth. Turning to a man in a navy parka, face hidden. Their voices weren't recorded. But their shadows said enough. Corbin handed off the bundle. Money changed hands. He looked directly at the camera. Then raised a finger to his lips. Like a lullaby. To silence me.
Cut scene.
Phone vibrated. Marisol again. Erica, she said. Whatever you're planning, don't do it alone. These people play chess with corpses. But I wasn't listening anymore. I was already packing the flash drive into an envelope. Already writing the name of a reporter I hadn't spoken to in years. Because there's a difference between forgiveness and forgetting. And Corbin had crossed both. If he erased my past, I'll burn down his future. The rain started around midnight. Thin, cold, needling through the pine branches and slapping the lodge's windows like fingers testing the glass. I sat at the front desk, lights dimmed, flash drive in my pocket like a live fuse. Every few seconds, I glanced at the security feed. Nothing. No movement. Just the static of a storm and the hotel breathing its usual haunted rhythm. People think betrayal feels like a slap. It doesn't. It's slower. Quieter. Like being watched from the dark and not knowing when the knife will drop. Corbin was still ahead of me. He'd erased our digital records, forged the deeds, stripped me from my own legacy, and smiled through every lie. But I had something he didn't, the tape. The one where he met the man in the navy parka. The handoff. The shadow deal. I sent it to one person. Nico James. Freelance reporter. Ex of mine.
Ex-junkie. Now?
Bloodhound with a grudge against the rich and rotten. 10 hours, he texted. If it's real, I'll blow it open. That was all I needed.
Cut scene.
I pulled out the rusted key from the floorboard. Basement storage, where we kept the backup drives for the hotel systems. I needed to verify how much Corbin had deleted, what else he touched. As I opened the basement door, a gust of mildew and damp would hit me. The light flickered. Footsteps echoed, not mine. I froze. Someone else was down here. I moved slowly, heel-toe, no breathing. A shadow darted past the racks. I didn't scream. I didn't run. I grabbed the crowbar by the breaker box and stepped into the aisle. Silence. Then,
Crash.
a metal cart flew into me. I swung blind, hit something soft. A grunt. The figure pushed past me and bolted up the stairs. I chased but only reached the lobby in time to see the door swing shut. Rain pouring sideways. SUV speeding off.
No plats.
My fingers bled. My ribs throbbed. But I found it.
A glove.
Black leather. Tucked beneath the metal shelf. Inside, folded tightly, a receipt. Glenwood Springs. Gas station. 3 gallons of diesel. Time-stamped. 3:42 a.m. Just enough to burn a house. Or a warehouse.
Cut scene.
By 7 a.m., the hotel was crawling. Lenny arrived first. I had called him the night before. Off the books. Told him I needed security. Loyalty. No questions. He wore his old staff badge like armor. "You sure you want to play this out, Erica?" he said, watching the cameras. "Because once you kick this kind of door open, it doesn't close without blood." I handed him the glove. "Then we bleed smart." He smirked. "I always said if you want to set things right, you'll have to get your hands dirty."
We didn't speak after that.
We just moved. Cameras.
Audio taps.
New backups. Encrypted. I sent the warehouse coordinates to Nico. Told him to drive there. Park far. Record. Lenny and I would go in first.
Cut scene.
1:17 p.m. Clouds cracked open. Sunlight like a knife. We pulled into the alley behind the warehouse.
No noise.
No sign of entry. But the lock had been changed.
Twice.
Lenny picked it in under a minute. Inside, the space was hollow. Echoes of a time before it was sold out from under me. Before my family turned me into a liability. I moved fast. Swept corners. Lenny followed, gun drawn low. We reached the back wall. Storage locker. One I knew Corbin always kept locked. I stepped forward.
Beep.
My stomach dropped. Motion sensor. Lenny screamed. Down.
Boom. Flash. Smoke.
Ears ringing. Lenny dragged me behind a stack of crates. Dust and splinters rained like ash. I coughed hard. Vision burning. Someone didn't want us here. "You okay?" he barked. I nodded. Just barely. I crawled toward the blown locker.
Bent.
Reached in. Charred plastic. Metal shards. But something stuck to the back wall. Still intact. A license plate.
Vanity tag.
CBN for LFE. Corbin's old Audi. The one he told everyone he sold 2 years ago. He never sold it. He buried it.
Cut scene.
Back at the lodge, I scanned the tag. Registered under a shell company. Guess who filed the papers? Lenore Caldwell. My mother. She knew. She was part of it. And she covered it. Corbin hadn't acted alone. The house was just the first loss. The warehouse the first lie. The rest? Still hidden. Waiting.
Coiled.
But not for long. He lost the warehouse. But now he's about to lose everything he built. The article dropped at dawn. Nico didn't wait for confirmation, didn't wait for my blessing. He sent me a single message, "It's out." And then the notification banners lit my phone like warning sirens. Caldwell family betrayal. Local hotel heiress exposes brother's secret deals. Warehouse sale linked to forged signatures. The lodge was still half asleep when the first reporters pulled up. Engines humming. Cameras pointed. Snow grinding under tires. the kind of cinematic movement that doesn't leave room for breathing. Lenny stood beside me at the front desk, eyes on the windows. "You've kicked the hornet nest," he muttered. I said nothing. He added, almost like a prayer, "People don't forgive the ones who tell the truth first."
Cut scene.
By 9 a.m., the lodge was full. Not with guests. With tension. My mother walked in first, Lenore Caldwell, fur coat, tight jaw, eyes sharp like she'd aged 10 years in a night. "Erase the story," she hissed.
No griting. No pause.
Just venom. You think exposing your own family makes you look righteous? It makes you look desperate.
I ser det her.
You helped Corbin hide the Audi. You helped to move money. You forged my proxy. She slapped the counter so hard a pen rolled onto the floor. "That car has nothing to do with this." "Mother," I said quietly, "that car is exactly what this is about." Her breath shook. Her hand trembled. She walked out without another word. But her silence said enough. She knew. Cut scene. At noon, the first brick hit the lodge's window. Shattering glass. A scream from a housekeeper. Lenny yanked me back, arm across my chest. Outside, a man in a hoodie sprinted to a waiting truck. The tires screeched. Snow kicked up in a wave.
Gone.
The brick lay on the floor surrounded by shards.
Taped to it.
A photo of me taken from across the street the night before. Under it, 2 words. "Traitor girl." My lungs tightened. My pulse drummed against my throat. Lenny picked up the photo carefully. "They're watching you. Up close." Every movement. The lobby lights flickered. The heater kicked on. Footsteps creaked overhead. Every sound became a threat.
Cut scene.
The backlash came faster than I expected. Anonymous phone calls. Threats whispered through static. Emails flooding the front desk inbox, some mocking me, some warning me, some promising to finish what Corbin started. People always say, courage is just fear with good posture. Maybe. But courage also hurts like hell when you're standing alone in a war you didn't start. By 2 p.m., Marisol finally called back. "You made this messy," she said, voice crisp. "But messy is leverage. What's my next move? Protect every piece of evidence. And do not, under any circumstance, meet Corbin alone." The line crackled.
A pause.
Then, quietly, "Erica, someone paid a private investigator to track you for the last month. The retainer came from a Caldwell account." My stomach dropped. Which Caldwell? I already knew.
She didn't have to say it. Cut scene.
Around 4 p.m., a man in a gray vest stepped onto the lodge's porch.
Tall.
Clean cut. Expression blank. He glanced at the security camera, then smiled right into it. Lenny stiffened. "He's not local." The man stood there only 8 seconds.
8.
Then he walked away like he was just checking the weather. But he left something under the bench. A business card.
Blank.
On the back, handwritten. "Don't run. We're already where you're going."
Cut scene.
The day collapsed quickly. A guest canceled last minute. Then another. Then 3 more. Nico called, breathing hard. "Corbin's people know I published. Someone followed me into a gas station. I'm sending the footage to you. Use it. I'm staying mobile." I watched the shaky cell phone video. White truck. Covered plates. Same gray vest man sitting behind the wheel. They weren't just observing anymore. They were circling. The kind of circle predators make before they move in.
Cut scene.
Night fell like a curtain. The lodge exterior lights buzzed and flickered. Inside, everything smelled like dust, damp wood, and adrenaline. Lenny patrolled the halls. I sat at the lobby computer reviewing the warehouse footage again. Frame by frame. Searching every shadow. Every reflection. Every scrap of evidence that could bury Corbin deeper. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. A text. 3 words. "Check your porch." My heart stuttered. I grabbed the pepper spray from the drawer and stepped outside. Cold air slapped my face. Snow hissed under my boots. The wind pushed hard from the ridge. Then, I saw it. A gasoline can. placed neatly by the door. Bright red. Still warm. On top, a folded note weighed down by a matchstick. A single sentence. Next time, no warning. They broke the glass, but I just cracked the roof. And now I'm watching their entire house burn from the inside. Night came fast. Cold. Silent. The lodge sat under a heavy sky, half-lit by the weak glow of street lamps. I moved through the hallways like a ghost. Lenny beside me, gun taped under his jacket, his breath shallow.
Minaragid.
I whispered, they think fear burns louder than truth. He nodded once.
Cut scene.
We set the trap. Cameras rewired. Motion sensors active. External drives secured in my bag. I'd backed up everything. Contracts.
Videos.
Emails. Threats. Every stain in high resolution. Send a copy to the state attorney. Another to a local news desk. Another to a safe email, encrypted. We'd given them a final chance. Public exposure. Legal consequences. Their move. Silence hung heavy, like the moment before a gunshot. Then the call, static, female voice low. By sunrise, the lodge will be ashes.
Click.
I crushed the phone against the wall. Heat knifed across my skin. Smoke. A distant, acrid scent of burning rubber. Lenny heard it too. He yanked me toward the window. Down below, a white truck with covered plates. Engine idling. Gray vest man climbed out. He moved to the dumpster behind the shed. Something sloshed. Gasoline? Diesel? Doesn't matter. Liquid meant fuel. Fuel meant fire. He stayed crouched. Watching. Waiting.
Cut scene.
I snapped a photo through the window. Hit send. To Nico. To the police. To anyone who cared. He muttered under his breath, if they burn you out, you burn their lies first. We grabbed 2 fire extinguishers. Old. Wheezy. But better than nothing. Lenny slid one behind, ready. I gripped the second. We descended stairs. Basement exit. Loose floorboard. Old maintenance door creaked. Rain spattered outside, washing over concrete. He nodded. We stepped into the night.
Cut scene.
Wind whipped. The truck hood glowed faint. The man brushed hair from his face, scanning the buildings like a hunter. He lit a match. Impatient. Too sure. I stifled a scream. Lenny lunged, pulling me behind the dumpster. Concrete wall bit into my cheek. Cough.
Dust.
Smell of whetstone and diesel. We crawled. Silent. Predators sniffing us out. Footsteps. Metal scraping. He was close. Heat flickered. Match to rag, rag to door. Then a flare inside the shed. Flames hungry and hungry fast, lapping wood and old boxes, hitting the night with a roar. Cut to slow motion. The lighter flicked off. The man vaulted into the truck, slammed the door. Lights blind. Engine revved. Rain fell harder. Thunder rattled the sky. Glass shattered. A window above us cracked. Shards rained down. We ran. Concrete bit our heels. Wet wood, splinters, screech of tires. Sirens in the distance. Maybe from Nico. Maybe from someone else. Race upstairs.
Lobby door burst open.
Red emergency lights strobed against panic-stricken faces. Housekeepers screaming. Running. Chaos in every direction. I crouched behind the front desk, chest heaving. Lenny shielded the extinguisher. Flames grew. Smoke curled. Shadows danced on the walls. The hotel smelled of burning pine and betrayal. Then boots. Heavy.
Calm. 2.
A man in suit stepped forward. Camera raised.
Click. Flash.
Journalist?
No.
Investigative. He whispered into his radio. She's here. I got her. I froze.
Cut scene.
Phone buzzed. Unknown number. Message. Leave now, or the next fire won't wait. My vision blurred. Rage, fear, fury, all knotted tight in my chest. Anger tasted like smoke. Lenny crouched beside me, his voice quiet. We either fight or we fall. I looked up, my eyes dark. Then I stood. Bottle of water tossed. Lobby lights flickered. Sirens closer. I stepped into the open. Stop, I shouted. I have the tape. I have the evidence. I'm calling the cops now. The suited man aimed the camera. He raised a second object. Flash grenades? Doesn't matter. I saw movement in his jacket. I stepped closer. Hands where I can see them, I hissed.
Cut scene.
Red and blue lights screamed outside. Tires screech.
Shouts.
A siren. The man froze. His partner hesitated. Behind them, uniformed officers spilling into the hall.
Flash. Camera.
Handcuffs.
Detained.
Arrested. I exhaled. Acrylic lights bounced off polished floors. Smoke curled in loops. The lodge trembled, but still stood.
Cut scene.
Reporter Nico rushed in.
Wet coat.
Eyes blazing.
Got it, he said.
Every file. Every threat. Every shadow. They can't hide now. I nodded, saliva bitter in my mouth. Truth is the hammer. Lies are the nails. And I just knocked down their wall.
Cut scene.
By dawn, the first news vans rolling in. Local police tape fluttering in weak wind. Snow melting under flashing lights. Guests evacuated. Staff huddled under blankets, eyes wide. Relief mixed with fear. I stood by the front door. The rain had slowed. The world looked new. Fragile. Cold.
Alive.
Lenny touched my shoulder. You push the match. Don't let them tell you it was an accident when it was arson. I looked at the hotel sign. Weathered wood, chipped paint, flickering light. Then back at them. I whispered. They tried to burn my past. But I'm about to torch their future, starting tonight. Red and blue lights cut through the snow outside the lodge. Sirens echoed against the pine walls. The air smelled of smoke, wet wood, and truth finally breaking loose. They came in pairs, officers, cameras, reporters.
Flash. Click. Arrest.
Corbin, suit rumpled, hands raised. His partner with a gray vest, face hidden, cuffed. Rufus Caldwell and Lenore Caldwell were let out in handcuffs too. Official charges for fraud, forgery, attempted arson, conspiracy. I watched them go.
No shouting. No tears.
Just silence, and the weight of consequences finally delivered. Under that silence, I felt something settle deep in my chest, like the lodge itself exhaled relief.
Cut scene.
At dawn, I stood in the lobby. The fire had curled the edges of the wooden floorboards. Ash drifted like dust motes in the golden morning light. A single pane of glass cracked, letting the cold breeze slip through. Lenny placed a hand gently on my shoulder. He didn't need to say anything. His look said it all. Victory doesn't mean peace, but it means survival. I unclutched the flash drive. The one with everything.
Contrasts, videos, timelines, payments, threats.
I left it on the front desk. File copy to the state attorney. File copy to the press. File copy to a secure, anonymous cloud. Truth doesn't ask permission. It demands presence.
Cut scene.
Staff gathered in a circle near the fireplace, faces tired, wary, hopeful. One of them, an older housekeeper named Marta. She found me, eyes red. You saved more than a hotel, she whispered. You saved our dignity. I looked around. Broken windows. Scorched rugs. Smell of smoke. But also hope. A guest walked in, mid-morning, pulling off wet gloves, looking around. He paused, eyes on the cracked floorboards. Then he smiled. Doesn't feel like the same lodge, he said. It feels real. That hit me. Hard. Because authenticity is built on trust. And trust, once earned, stays rooted.
Cut scene.
I walked outside. Snowflakes fell quietly, melting on my coat. The mountains loomed silent behind the lodge's roofline. The world was cold.
Crisp. Clean.
I closed my eyes. They tried to burn my past. They tried to steal my future. But I stood. Not because I'm fearless. Because truth is a fire nothing can extinguish. A line echoed in my mind. Desperation burns, but integrity ignites. Maybe the words were borrowed, but the meaning? Mine real, alive. I opened my eyes. The horizon glowed with dawn. I took a slow step forward, then another. Because even after all the smoke, there's always a sunrise. And for Mountain Pine Lodge, for all of us, this sunrise wasn't just survival. It was our reckoning.